Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lynette with Blocks Destinations, and we are talking all things travel. So, one of the things I want to talk about today is what deck is the best deck to stay on when you take a cruise? That's a very, very common question that I get. And unfortunately, some people don't think to ask this question, and they get on their ship and it's not quite what the experience they were looking for. I've read a lot of posts about that on social media and saying, oh, I didn't know that my room was right below the casino or right next to the elevators that, the staff uses. And so they're louder with, anyways, let's dig into the best deck and what you're looking for. It's just an excellent question because your cabin's location can make or break your trip. In this video, I'm going to break down the key factors to consider when selecting a deck for your ideal cruise accommodations. Mid-deck. Let's dig in with mid-deck. The very happy medium for most cruisers. Staterooms on mid-level decks tend to be an excellent all-around choice. We're usually talking decks 5 through 8 on most ships. These midship decks offer a nice balance. You'll avoid excessive rocking motion from higher decks, but also steer clear of excessive engine noise or vibrations from the lower decks. Mid-decks also keep you relatively close to all the action like pools, dining venues, and public spaces without having to rely too much on elevators. I often recommend these middle decks as a great starter option for first-time cruisers. Lower decks, they're going to be a little bit more budget-friendly. If you're looking for the most budget-friendly cabins on the ship, you're generally going to find the lowest rates on the lowest guest deck levels, usually decks 2 and 3. As well as the interior cabin, of course. That's the starting point of the lower price points. These staterooms can be a great money-saving option for frugal cruisers willing to sacrifice the view. Just be aware that engine noise and vibrations can potentially be an issue when you're that low on the ship. The higher decks, they're going to offer the best views for those willing to splurge. The highest guest deck, like decks 9 through 12, are where you'll experience and find the most spectacular views from your stateroom, from your balcony. The downside is you'll experience more motion from winds and waves on the higher level, plus longer walks to the venues. The rocking can be unpleasant for some, so consider your motion sickness tolerance and what medication can help with that, as well as the patches and that sort of thing. The upper decks are also, they tend to be quieter. They're more private and fewer travelers venture up this high. Premium accommodations like suites are typically located there, and they're an ideal pick for the panoramic views if that's a top priority for you. Other considerations would be, in addition to the deck level, be sure to also factor in your cabin's specific position on that deck. Centrally located in the middle of the ship tends to have less motion, while the forward or aft rooms can be more rocky. Rooms underneath or beside public spaces, they experience much greater noise factor. I always recommend to weigh in your budget, desire for a view, and sensitivity to motion when you're trying to narrow in on your cruise cabin selection and the location. If you have specific needs, like requiring an accessible room, proximity to certain venues, or other preferences, be sure to let me know, and then we can make tailored recommendations for that as well. And no matter which deck you choose, being selective about your stateroom can really enhance your cruise experience. Some cruise lines will offer, they'll offer the view, whether it be the window or a balcony, but it'll say partially blocked. So double check that. This is where a travel agent is very helpful when booking these cruises. The other thing to watch out for too is when you're looking, these cruise lines online will, kind of let you look and see where your cabin choice is and where the elevators are and so forth. But what you don't know is outside a ship, there are all the boats that hang on the side. And some of the rooms on that deck, depending on which cruise line you're on, your view, you might see a little light coming in, but what you're looking at is an orange raft. So, and if that doesn't bother you, then that room is for you. But there's a lot to consider, a lot to think about. And again, if you're traveling with little kids or you're traveling with a bunch of people your own age. You know, you got a group of 10 going on a trip, and maybe it doesn't matter because all you're doing is sleeping there, and you want an interior room on whatever floor. So everybody has different needs, and that's the beauty of a cruise ship. There's something for everyone. So get with me, get with a travel agent, and let's figure it out so we can get you booked and make some reservations for your next awesome trip cruising. So until next time, I hope everyone has a great day and safe travels.